Yo, and good morning. My name is Gibbs, and I love writing, and today we're going back to our story about Kalia Ward, and we're talking about story rewards and how your story needs to progress and flow, kind of like what we talked about last time, but your character can't just keep being beaten down into the ground, right? You need to give your character a little bit of leeway. So, I wrote a little bit off camera, and basically what's going on, this is my physiker. She's a medically trained person in my little fantasy Dungeons and Dragons world, my fantasy world that I've made. And she has fought off a bandit and now is like mentally scarred from this this endeavor. But now the group is regrouping because she went out with a group of adventurers, and now she needs to get some kind of reward for doing this. She has suffered immensely just in the short amount of time that she has been with this party with her friend Sarah. So there's an adventure group. These are the members right here. This is who I am, Kalia Ward, medical healer, though I don't have any magic yet, which is something we'll get to. And then there's also the bank here that I owe a lot of money to, I owe a lot of debt to because of my medical training and the schooling that I've gone through. So we're picking back up in this story. My character has just fought off a bandit where she has no training whatsoever in fighting, and she just kind of happened to win. So she also just healed the wizard, who is like a very strange character. So now, Eerie, I-R-R-E, who is the party leader, is now going to go over and divvy up some of the loot. Which is where we go into the rewards. Who recovered mid... So I'm trying to make it seem like this is a different breed of person, right? The person who is an adventurer in this world is extremely rugged. Like, my character is a healer. She just heals everyday people who's going through the city who comes to her clinic. But these people are totally different. So he's looking down at the piles of coins. If I could spell. Learning to spell with Gibbs. Again. Shrugged and looked down at the pile of coins. Xanon is also a character who doesn't really speak a lot. So now we're going to divide this 5 ways, because I think that's what I originally said. And how perfect that it is that she gets 50 gold. That's a pretty good haul. That's a pretty good haul. It's a pretty good haul just in coins for this quest. Let alone returning the snobby brats the bandits had captured. I stood in awe as these people just walked around casually, throwing bags of 50 gold. Let's, I don't like writing out the numbers, so 250. 250 gold. Throwing around bags of 50 gold. Hit me like a brick. Stared down at it. So here we go. We're making a reward. In just a few hours, my character has earned more money than she has in like a month or two. So let's have Geralt read this for us.
I stepped forward, advancing on him, and made another swipe at him. I missed, but his uninjured hand flew away from his belt. Blood continued to leak from his wrist, and he eyed it nervously, his eyes flicking from me to his wrist. He frowned and then changed his stance from defensive to a clearly aggressive stance. He lunged at me, ignoring my blade and coming right for me. He almost hugged me, throwing me to the ground, his hands around my neck. Before I knew it, we were on the ground. He pinned me down, and his weight on me knocked the breath from my lungs. His hands wrapped tightly around my neck, blocking any more air from entering. Panic ensued. My dragged somehow was still in my hand, and I brought it up and cleanly ran it across his throat. It took him about 5 long seconds to realize he was dead. Between the blood loss from his wrist and then the extremely quick release of blood from his neck, he quickly dropped, unconscious limp. My mind reeled from the burst of adrenaline. I laid there for a few moments in shock. Time rebounded back into its normal flow. I tried to take in a deep breath, but L felt a warm liquid flow onto my neck and chest. I felt the warmth start to flow down my sides and start to pool around me. I blinked in confusion and used my hands to probe for the cause. I still couldn't take a deep breath. And then my mind put together my situation. I had just killed someone, and they were laying on top of me, bleeding onto me. The horror of what I had done struck me in a fantastical blow. I just couldn't breathe. I frantically pushed my arms around him and tried to roll to one side. I had to rock back and forth to build momentum to make the weight shift off me enough to push him off. I scrambled away. I kicked and scampered on my back, kicking up leaves and grass as I tried to move away from the growing pool of blood I had been soaking in. For a moment I still didn't take in a breath. I felt like a betrayer, a fraud. I had spent my entire life working to save people and help people. And I had just ended someone's life. My lungs burned with a fire. Eventually I sucked in a deep, full breath. Something that man will never do again. My mind wandered. I recognized the stages of shock. First adrenaline, then extreme fatigue with a disconnect, then emptiness, like I was floating. My brain felt numb. I just lay there, leaning against the tree. Kel? Oh, gods above! Kel? Where are you? A voice rang out of the forest like a bell. I heard footsteps, and I blinked. Shit. How long had I been sitting here? I sat forward. My back felt stiff. In fact, my entire body felt stiff. Like I had stretched it out and then let it shrink, and only now had I decided to use it for the first time in a year.
So, there's an example of how trauma can be written. And then, as I continued down that little scene, I kind of go more into the emotions of how that character is feeling, right? Because we want emotion, feeling, thought, action, and dialogue. So here, we're having a lot of that. I stood in awe, right? These people just walked around after casually tossing around money that I have never even dreamed of owning, right? There's the action, the bag of money hitting me, stared down, the money, right? Now let's continue. So, I'm trying to make it so that it's like, look at, in just a few hours, I have been rewarded from the trauma, right? So, trying to bring up as I shuddered, remembering. As I shuddered as I remembered. As I remembered the man's empty eyes as he lay dead on top of me. Staring down at me. Hell, I was still. Head to toe in his blood. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head to toe in his blood. So, she's been rewarded, but at what cost? So I'm trying to, this has been a very traumatic experience, right? Just my best friend placing a hand on my back has caused me to nearly jump out of my skin. It has been a very traumatic experience going through this whole situation. Oh, and this is a question. There should not be a period here. Learning grammar with Gibbs. So now, let's review the quest, right? The quest is to get rid of these bandits. We have hostages. So part of what you're doing when you're writing is you're juggling. You're juggling a lot of you're spinning plates. Just like when you're playing World of Warcraft and you're playing a feral druid. You got to spin the plates of all the bleeds. We have a lot of characters. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have the entire adventuring group, me, we've got the company, we have also the hostages. What are the hostages doing? Where are they? What is going on with them? So now, I want to see what the AI does. I'm going to hit send and see what it does. Let's see what it says. Oh, what the fuck. See, it's just saying... I think because I had so many spaces in between here, it didn't like that. So let me get rid of it all and put the cursor back down there. And let's see if it comes up with... Yeah. Perfect. Good. I love what it wrote. So, a part of what I'm doing, right, the AI can learn, right? The settings that I have Galactic Gauntlet. So it's going to constantly copy, where is it? Here. It's going to maintain what I've already written. And I've got a bunch of different things here to help the AI remember the situation. So, let's, Geralt, what did it say?
I looked to her and forced a smile. Yeah, I'm fine. Just processing everything that has happened. She nodded. First kill is always the hardest, Cal. She rubbed my back. Why didn't you go wash up in the river? I looked around at the camp of people. Nero was talking with the others as they sorted the loot. Kolvir was starting to clean his blade. Xanon was sorting through his ritual magic and casting small spells to light the fires and stuff.
So I'm going to change that. I don't really like the whole what's Xanon. Sorting through the loot. The loot and gear. Also, placing small ingredients, placing small ingredients. His ritual magic. And I want to Kolvir. I'm gonna Kolvir. Three individuals, I guess. Examining them. In hey, talking to them in a low, soft and calming tone. What did I just say? They are the prisoners? Hostages. The hostages. The hostages. Hostages. Spelling with Gibbs. I washed my hands, the blood. Caked. All right. Let's see. So, we've been talking about a lot of trauma. My character's going through trauma. Let's see if the AI can pick up on that. Let's see if it can do it. Let's see. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Try that again. Character's not stripping down. Get the fuck out of here. No, what the fuck? Alright, undo. That's not this kind of story. Stop, 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 stop. Novel AI is thirsty, I guess. Holy shit. Take a breather there. My clothes were basically ruined, so I'm trying to, make it a little bit realistic here, right? She's just got blood everywhere. Blood is completely covering her. I had to wear them. So that's also going to be a cost, right? She's going to have to pay for the cost of her clothing. So, her debt is going to go down quite a bit after this, which is another scene that we have planned in the future. She's going to meet back up with the agent from the bank. Memory. How do I say this? So, the eyes of the dead man still roamed in my mind. Not good, but better. The hostesses, the hostages. Hey, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what the AI has to say. The hostages? Oh, it keeps fucking doing that. If you don't have the cursor, so that's something just learned. So if you don't have the... Fuck me. It learned how I spell wrong. Look at that. Tati. I always do that. Fuck me. I'm teaching the AI how to spell incorrectly. It's literally copying me, even in my, my errors. Jesus. Where did it get that from? I don't even see any marks where that is. There's at least. Jimbity Christmas. There's another at least. Crazy, whatever. Alright, let's try this again, right? The hostages send. Sometimes the AI just makes me so... so frustrated. spoke with them in a calm, gentle voice, asking questions about how they were feeling and what they needed. Better. Little. She's not going to say yes, she's going to say yeah. Time to get the hostage back to Greyport. It's about a 2-hour walk on the road, another hour. Town from there. Hour into the heart of the city. Into the heart of the city from there. Better get started. We better get moving. So there we go. Now we're at our next little spot here. Let's see what the AI has to say. Let's let it run. Nah. That's not sound right. No, I don't have a change of clothes. Come on, AI. We talked about this. We talked about this. Alright, the wagon. Jumbled? What's a good, like, shook? Hostages were dead silent as we... There it is again, Tati, to the city. I keep doing that, I keep hitting the space bar too quickly. The group talked. So right now what I'm trying to do is just paint the picture that everyone is fucking exhausted. Everyone is tired. Everybody feels what just happened. And it doesn't feel good. Alright. Let's let the AI take over. So zone out. Good. Good. I love that. Good. I let myself zone out as we rode back. I knew that the shock was settling back in. This whole thing was bizarre. I had spent my life helping people and saving people, and today I killed someone. Even though he deserved it, the act of killing someone, something that goes against what I had been working towards. It rocked me to the core. I love it. Good job. See, this is what I'm talking about. The AI knows how to write well. We just have to guide it in the right direction. We arrived at the city gates without incident. Ira, she's in charge. Ira spoke to the guards briefly and passed them. No. Guards briefly and we passed. Into the city. Passed without incident into the city. There we go. So now we're back in the city. So. Another hour. Travel had us. Had us back in the city. Back in the city. So we're talking about reward, right? Here's another one. Boom. The scene was surreal as we arrived. The hostages jumped out of the cart. The 3 hostages. The hostages jumped out of the cart as we pulled up to a stop and rejoiced as they embraced their family members. And laughter. They're lost. One's back into their arms. Family. Family. Tears and laughter filled the air as the families ushered the lost loved ones back into their arms. An adventure guild, what is it? An adventure guild representative. Witness the arrival of our party. Right, Zen is the quiet wizard. Yeah. So everybody in the party kind of has their place and they know what they need to do. Like Xanon is the numbers guy. He keeps track of everything that's going on, all the numbers, the divisions, the splitting. Capital, it's a name. There we go. Oops, no. Actually, let's save this for a second. Xanon approached. Another 50 split even. He said flatly. Alright, Geralt. Review. Let's review, Geralt.
Kulvir snorted as I ran by. Dear gods, did she kill more of them than me? I barely got any blood on my sword. I gasped as I looked to Xanon, who was standing next to a table sorting through coins. Ira shot him a look and gestured to Xanon, who stood studying the coins. Xanon paused and looked at me. What? I looked at him with shock written all over my face. You have an arrow in your chest? Sit down. Now! I fussed around in my pack, which luckily only got some blood on the outside of it. I pulled out a small vial and a potion. I looked around and picked up a stick, broke it in half, then handed it to him. Put it in your mouth. He blinked at the stick but took it. He tilted his head and I pointed at his chest. Now. Xanon sighed and placed the wood in his mouth. I nodded. Okay, here is the healing potions. I'm going to pull out the arrow on 3. And then you're going to drink the potion as quickly as possible, but spit out the stick first. He shook his head like he was going to protest, but I glared at him. Apparently being covered head to toe in blood was intimidating enough for him to listen to me. I already felt a little better. Working took my mind off. I shook my head to clear it. Okay, 1 tea. I pulled out the arrow before I finished saying 2. He bit down on a stick and then spit it out, screaming a gargled tone of intense pain as he uncorked the potion and downed it. He squinted and blinked in pain, but within 5 seconds of his drinking the potion he sighed in relief. Good potion. He nodded to me and stood up. He picked through the coins, sorting them on the table, as if I hadn't just pulled an arrow from his chest. I shook my head in amazement and dropped the arrow. These people were insane. Well, they were making me insane as well. I sighed. A long, slow, drawn-out breath. Shit. This was hard. Ira approached Xanon's table and nodded. How are we looking? Xanon, who recovered miraculously, shrugged and looked down at the piles of coins. 250 gold. Ira grunted in approval. Without selling any of the look, that's a pretty good haul. Just in raw coins for this quest. Let alone returning the snobby brats the bandits had captured. I stood in awe as these people just walked around casually throwing bags of 50 gold. The purse hit me like a brick. I stared down at it, as it was more money than I had earned in roughly 3 months of working in my clinic. I could pay off roughly a quarter of my debt with this money. Months of work, but the work. I shuddered as I remembered the man's empty eyes as he lay dead on top of me, staring down at me. Ella was still covered head to toe in his blood. At what cost had this money come into my possession, though? I ran my fingers through the bag of coins and jumped as Sarah put a hand on my back. You okay? I nearly jumped out of my skin at the touch. I looked to her and forced a smile. Yeah, I'm fine. Just processing everything that has happened. She nodded. First kill is always the hardest kill. She rubbed my back. Why didn't you go wash up in the river? I looked around at the camp of people. Nero was talking with the others as they sorted the loot. Xanon was sorting through the loot and gear, and also placing small ingredients into his pouches, I guess that were for his ritual magic. Kulvir was standing off to the side of the camp with 3 individuals. He was examining them and talking to them in a low, soft, and calming tone. The hostages. I walked a few steps away toward a small creek that ran by the camp. These bandits had found a prime spot for their camp, deep in the forest with a water source nearby. I washed my hands, the blood had dried by now and was caked on me. I scrubbed my arms, then got the blood that was stuck under my fingernails out. Then worked on my face and neck. My clothes were basically ruined, so no point trying to clean those. I would just have to toss them away when I returned to the city.
Yeah.
So for
Okay. So, talking about the rewards. I've now gotten 100 gold from all of this. I looked to Sarah and nodded profusely. Yees. No, yes. If you'll have me. Was it worth it? So, the internal turmoil that my character has because she has killed someone. She has gone beyond what she thought she could do. She's stretching herself, she's growing, she's changing, like what I talked about before in a past video, right? A past stream. Your character needs to change. And this right here, boom, is my character changing. At least the thought of change is approaching her mind, right? Was it worth it? As I held nearly half of my debts, half of my current absolutely incredible. All right. So I have an idea of where we're going, right? The AI is just a tool that you can use to help get yourself there and add a little bit of flair and some things that you didn't think about, right? Which is part of the whole settings where you can have randomness. The more random, the more crazy stuff is going to happen, right? But with just regular writing, it can help to just push the story forward at a different pace or a pace that might be a little bit more what you're looking for. All right. It was absolute. How about let's not start the sentence with it. Absolutely. Incredible. And with that, shoulder. Actually, let's make this a new line because this is a different. Learning to spell with Gibbs. There we go. Play. Still fucking hell. There we go. Look at you. What are you gonna do with all your money? So this is a common thing that people say in life, right? Ah, I understand. But now my character is going to think on that. So just the character's thoughts going, she doesn't understand what I'm doing. She might be my best friend, but what the heck, man? You can't just say like this, saying this to someone in real life is huge. If you say, ah, I understand, but you've never actually gone through the situation, mm, that can really irk someone. And that irked my character. She didn't like it that she said that. T, no, 2. We said our goodbyes. So the party is now split up, right? Now it's just my character and all the gold she has. There it is again, taught thee to thee. And now, Wolford and Co. Bank. Marbled. So there we go. And now I've set myself up for my next scene that I want to do. So as far as rewards, right? It's a give and take, right? People love reading a story that are just pain, right? The character needs to suffer. Your character also needs to grow and change, but if your story is just your character getting beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten, and they're just getting the snot beat out of them, and nothing good is ever coming to them, then you're not writing a story, you're just writing about how someone died. You're writing a journal. So there needs to be like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. So right here we have gone through a positive, an uproar, where the character has gotten a lot of money. Now the character needs to go to the bank and deposit the money, but things can happen, right? We've got our agent here. He might make a visit to her, so there's a lot of possibilities where we can go from this point, but I think this is a good point to stop. My name is Gibbs. I love writing. You can find me on Twitch, on my website, and on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And have a nice day. I'll see you later.